Good afternoon. Hope you're having a great week. It is Wednesday, July 12th, 1:38 p.m. Central Daylight Time, local time here in, I think I'm in Chaffee, Arkansas. Fort Chaffee, Arkansas. There's a military base here called Chaffee. I'm not sure if that's also the town name, but I'm basically driving around the military base right now. The reason I'm over here is not because I'm picking up a load. It's because I just finished doing a random drug test. And this place was not easy to get to. It's kind of off the beaten path. But I will be getting onto an interstate and then a highway here momentarily. And then we should be good to go. So I've been away from home for this is day 2 and I don't have a load yet. I was sitting at home for almost 4 months, right around 3.5 months. And on Monday, I contacted trailer utilization and requested a trailer. And then yesterday morning, Tuesday morning, bright and early, right at 8 a.m., they hit me up and tell me that they've got a trailer for me 200 miles away. Wait a second here. I'm trying to judge this car's speed. We're good to go. And they're excited about me picking up this trailer because they need it moved. They said it's been sitting at this utility trailer shop for over 5 months and they need it moved ASAP. Landstar has 2 different rates that they pay for trailer moves. One, if you need an empty and they don't have one near you, they'll pay you 65 cents a mile to go a long distance to pick up a trailer. If they need a trailer moved, then they pay like $1.25 a mile for you to move a trailer for them. Like, if you need an empty and they're giving you an empty that's far away because they need it moved, they pay $1.25 a mile. So, did they give me that $1.25 a mile rate to do them a favor? Nope. Was this the nearest trailer to me? Nope. They told me. That right there is the Arkansas DOT person that got a drug test with me. Well, not with me. That would be awkward. But he was in there getting a drug test at the same time I was. That doesn't sound any better. I saw him at the place where I was getting a drug test, and he was getting a drug test there as well. Let's put it that way. So yeah, I did them a favor. They flat out told me that whenever they got me the trailer, they were like, "Yeah, I need this trailer moved, and you're the closest driver to it." So they weren't even looking for the closest trailer for me. They were looking, for what they needed done. And they didn't kick anything my way for doing them a favor. I could have told them no. It's not like this is forced dispatch on my company driver or anything like that. I could have just said, "Nah, I'll wait for a closer trailer." But it pissed me off that they didn't even offer to like give me some extra money or something. Kick a little extra my way for doing them a favor and driving 200 miles to pick up an empty. But anyway, I got over here at like 5:40 p.m. yesterday. Utility was already closed. So I hung out overnight at a mom and pop truck stop that was right next door to the utility trailer. And then 8 a.m. I went over there to utility and picked up the trailer. Little did I know that the trailer was parked outside the gate. I could have picked it up yesterday. But just a second here. Left lane ends, and I got somebody just jumped out in the left lane to pass me. Aggressive drivers. It's so little traffic, and people are still so incredibly aggressive. So, just a second here. I was just waiting, watching, making sure there's nobody else about to pull some stupid. So, there was a bit of drama with the trailer. I don't know how many accidents or incidents this trailer has been in, but it's got a lot of damage. It's only a 2-year-old trailer. It was manufactured in August of 21. I think it's a Vanguard trailer. I think that's the brand, the one that starts with a V. And sorry, I don't know if I get my own lane here. There's a whole bunch of traffic at that light. No, I do not get my own lane. I got to merge in. Looks like I should be good. So it passed my inspection except for one thing. There's one concern that I had, and that is the left side door frame was bent in. And so I went in there and asked utility, like, do you guys have any paperwork? Did you guys like certify that frame damage as, it's good to go? Or is there anything in writing that you can give me that states that that frame damage is good? And the receptionist directed me over to somebody else, and he was like, no, we didn't do any certification on it or inspection or anything like that for frame damage. We had like $12,000 worth of stuff that we wanted to do, and Landstar didn't want to pay, so we did what they wanted us to do. And I was like, all right, so um, can you like give me a printout of what you did or something? He's like, let me go take a look at that. What you're talking? Let me go look at it and see what you're talking about. He went out and looked at it, and he was like, oh yeah, it's just a scuff mark, or that's just a scuff. He kept referring to it as a scuff. And after about the fourth time he said it was a scuff, I couldn't take it anymore, because he was sounding like the Black Knight from Monty Python's Holy Grail. He's getting his arms chopped off, and he's like, it's just a scratch. A scuff is just a scratch, like it's a bunch of scratches. It's a rub mark. That's not what this was. And like the fourth time he said it, I said, that's not a scuff. The frame is bent inward. And he didn't really know how to respond to that. Me, like, getting tired of him being condescending toward me. So I asked him, I said, so you're saying it's not an issue? It's not a DOT violation? He's like, yes. I said, I asked him, I said, if you were to do a DOT inspection. If I called Landstar and asked them to have you do a DOT inspection on it, you would pass that? He said, yes. I said, all right, cool. Is there any documentation that you can provide for me on the work that you did on the trailer? He said, yeah, I'll print out the work we did. So he went in and printed it out, and I put that information in the document holder, and we're good to go. Because typically, whenever you have any kind of frame damage, anything to the main structure of the trailer, the support structure, you have to have a qualified mechanic sign off that it's good. There's no structural integrity issue. This trailer, I don't know what all happened to it, but whatever caused that frame bending on the frame door, they had to replace both doors, and there was multiple holes in the side and top of the trailer that they had to repair. And when I say holes, I don't mean like the size of your fist. I mean like foot wide holes. So, and all the damage was not all in the same place. Like one of the holes is up at the front bottom left on the side of the trailer. One of them was on the roof. There's a whole bunch of damage at the trailer door. So yeah, I'm not sure what all happened with this trailer, but it's a fairly new trailer and it's beat to shit. And it's already had extensive repairs. That sucks, man. Like how many bad drivers there are out here. It's like, even if I get a brand new trailer, like 6-month-old trailers, they're all beat up over here at Landstar. I mean, they're not nearly as bad as what I had to deal with at USA Truck. Man, at USA Truck, those things were in like some really bad condition. I'm going to go ahead and get in the left lane because I need to make a turn in a mile, and I don't want to have any issues getting over into this lane to make that turn. But with the invoice that showed, all the repairs they did at the trailer door area, and them, saying that the structure was good, it'd been really nice to have like a little piece of paper that said, yeah, we inspected that frame damage and it's good, but they didn't really want to do that. So I got the best I could. And then pulled out of there and pulled back into the mom and pop truck stop right next door to the utility trailer where I waited overnight. Parked and started looking for a load. And after about an hour, I get a call from Landstar and they're like, yeah, we're calling to verify your information. And they went through like asking me, if um, all my information was correct. Like they weren't asking me to provide the information like a scammer would. They were providing the information to me and asking me if it was correct. And then they started talking about a random drug test. It sounded like they were verifying that, yeah, I did a random drug test. Um, last month. Because, yeah, I did a random drug test about a month ago, a little over a month ago. And I thought they were just verifying that, that took place. But no, they were telling me I had to go do another random drug test. I'm like, are you serious? I just did a random drug test. Like I haven't even hauled a load since the last random drug test. Like I've been sitting at home. This is crazy. Like, do they just think that I took a whole bunch of time off because I was doing drugs at my house or something and they're trying to catch me on, a drug test? Like, I don't do drugs. I don't even drink alcohol, not even casually. I don't touch alcohol at all. Zero drugs, zero alcohol. This is just a huge inconvenience. To have me go do these randoms. Sorry, I'm not familiar with this truck stock. I'm trying to watch where to go in and where to go out and where to do all the things and shake it all about. Looks like I probably should have gone in on the right side, but this gets me set up for a sight side back on one of these back spots back here. Which coming from the other direction might have been better because of how far out these trucks over here on this side are. The sun. Let me think about it. All right, I think we want to be pointed in this direction. Oh, this is another Landstar driver. We're going to park right next to this guy. Because, yeah, I think I want my ass facing that way. Because I think if I park this way, that'll be west behind me. So the sun will be setting behind me. It'll help keep the truck cool. It's a pain in the ass to line up on somebody when you don't have anything on your sight side. It's just all on your blind side. So I'm going to just try to get roughly straight. And then I'll try to get lined up on him. All right. We're roughly straight. I'm trying to line up with him on my blind side because there are no markings whatsoever on my sight side. I can't tell if I'm straight. I mean, we're pretty close to him, but I can't tell if we're straight or if we're crooked. Let me get out and just see how straight I am. I could lean a little bit further to the right, but it's close enough. It's not perfect. So yeah, the drug test today and picking up the trailer and all that stuff, it's basically ruined my hours of service clock. My clock's been running since like 8 a.m. So it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So my clock's been running for like 6 hours. I mean, I still have the time to go pick up a load if one pops up, and I am going to look for a load, but if there are any just-in-time loads, I'm probably not going to have the hours necessary to take one of them. And those are the loads that generally pay really well.
You have 7 hours and 33 minutes of remaining drive time.
So, yeah, we're going to hang out here until we find a load, and the APU is the HVAC system on the APU is still not working, so I just have to leave the truck idling, which really, really sucks. It burns a lot of fuel. I can set forever when my APU is working because it uses so little fuel. But when I'm using the main engine, it's depressing to watch the gauge go down so fast. So I am still trying to find a control board, the main control board for the APU to get it fixed, but nobody has one in stock. I've been calling around at carrier dealers. I called the carrier dealer. I don't know where in the hell it was at. It was somewhere in the Fort Smith area. I called the carrier dealer around here, and they didn't even have to look. I told them what part I was looking for, and they're like, nope, we don't have one of those. So most of the carrier dealers, they don't even have to look to see what they have in stock to know that they don't have that part in stock. That's how common the back order is on it. Like it's a nationwide back order, and it's the same control unit across all carrier APUs. They have never like changed the APU, the control board. The old APUs use the same control board that the new APUs use. So it's a really high demand item because it's used across so many APUs, and it's a common part failure. So anyway, I am going to get to looking at the load board. I saw that there's some kind of chicken. Oh, is this a Chester's chicken at this place? Man, Chester's chicken is really hit or miss at the truck stops. Sometimes you get to one and it's fresh and it's good, and other times you get to these places and it's like some 15-year-old kid behind the counter that's playing video games on their phone that don't give a shit, and the food's been sitting there for like 4 fucking days. It's dried out, it's got mold on it, and it's just nasty. Other times you get there and there's some 15-year-old kid that's Johnny on the spot, and he's just busting his ass or her ass back there, and it's fresh food and it's amazing. You just never know what you're going to get. When I walk up to one and it just looks like, the mashed potatoes are crusted over and stuff like that. If I walk in there and I see that shit to where that stuff's been sitting there, it's probably yesterday's leftovers that's been sitting there for 3 or 4 days. Nah, nah, I don't order anything when I see that shit. If I walk in there though, and they're making fresh stuff and everything in there looks fresh and looks good, yeah, I'll go ahead and order that stuff. So I don't know. I might swing in there, maybe, maybe not. I still have a bunch of food in the truck. I should probably just stick with what I got in the truck, save some money. So yeah, that's what's going on with me. Some things I didn't cover since my last video. What's happened since my last video? Well, my last video, I was on the way to the truck to try to take out the circuit board on the APU to see if I might be able to fix it myself. And I wasn't able to get it out. I didn't have the necessary parts. It's just in too tight of a spot. Like, it doesn't require any special screwdrivers or anything. Like, it doesn't have any special kind of, uh, hex, nuts on it or anything like that, uh, or hex screws. It's just in a really, really, really tight spot. the screwdriver that I have was just way too long to be in that spot. You need one of those little screwdrivers that's only about 2 inches long to be able to get some of the screws out. And I just didn't have that. Or you need one of them that has a swivel head to where you could, turn it from an angle or something like that. But I did get a good look at it and I didn't see any obvious damage. And the breakers, I can't swap them out. They're soldered on. I thought maybe that they would just pop off and I could try replacing them. But no, they're soldered on. So I'm not qualified to be doing that level of work on the circuit board. So I just plugged it back in. All the stuff I'd already unplugged and unscrewed, I just put it all back together. And then I got to troubleshooting the APU to see if maybe I could get the other part, the alternator side of the APU to work, because the HVAC side, the generator side of the APU stopped working on me almost a year ago. And I just can't find the part to get that fixed. The alternator side of the APU stopped working on me back around February, March, somewhere in that area, right before I came home. And that part of it, I thought I might be able to get fixed. So it hasn't produced any error before, but I got to messing around with it and I was finally able to get it to produce an error. And it pointed toward the alternator being an issue. So I went down to the dealer, bought an alternator, and then the following day, went into the shop at my normal mechanic, and they swapped out the alternator. Now my normal mechanic Trey, he quit, and he was the only APU mechanic there. Now the other mechanics are diesel mechanics. They're really good diesel mechanics, but neither of them are really good at APUs. They know a little bit about APUs, but they're not like really good at APUs the way Trey was really good at APUs. So they're limited in what they can do, but they were able to swap out the alternator. Um, and that did resolve the alternator issue with the alternator side of the APU not working. So now my APU runs and it charges the batteries. I just don't have any air conditioning from the APU. So I have to run the main engine for the air conditioning. The generator is putting out 120 volts. So it's not the generator that's the problem. They said it has to be the circuit board because they're getting 120 volts into the circuit board, but it's not outputting the proper amount of power out of the circuit board. So it's most likely one of the breakers on the circuit board are tripped or partially tripped or something, or there's something on the circuit board that's bleeding off power or something. I'm not sure. But they don't work on the circuit board, so once it's a circuit board issue, it's a circuit board issue. They don't really try to diagnose what specific part of the circuit board is the problem. But I would be really, really happy to get that issue fixed. You know what? There is a Carrier dealer in Portland that usually has stuff in stock that other dealers don't. And also, they usually have cheaper prices. The Carrier dealer in Portland that is right across the street from the TA, it's right on the other side of the street. Okay, everybody's been raising their prices on APUs like crazy. Last time I checked APU prices, Carriers were selling for 15,000 and Thermo Kings were selling for like 17,000, and the off-brand shit like Green APU was selling for like 13,000. Back when the prices were that, I don't know what the prices are today. They're probably higher than that. But back when those were the prices, this Carrier dealer in Portland was selling APUs, Carrier APUs fully installed for $12,000. So maybe I'll call them up, ask them if they have one in stock, and either have them mail it to me, or I might take a load to Portland. It's pretty easy to find a load to Portland. I don't really want to go to Portland. I don't mind going to Portland. I don't mind it. It's just that the loads coming out of the Seattle Portland area are so cheap, especially with the freight market being bad right now. So, you know what? I think I'm going to give them a call. But anyway, yeah, we'll wrap this video up because that would totally change everything about being out here over the road if I had my APU air conditioner working. Like, it's just so expensive to idle the truck. So incredibly expensive. And it's not just the fuel cost, it's also the wear and tear on the engine. There's a huge difference in an engine that has 500,000 miles, that has almost no idle time. The APU is running during all its idle time, versus a truck that didn't have an APU, that just basically ran 24 hours a day while it put on 500,000 miles. That's the reason a lot of people, whenever they're looking at a truck, they don't really give a shit about the mileage. They care more about the engine runtime. And you have to take it into a shop and have them hook a computer up to it to pull usually, I mean, some of these trucks may provide that information through the dash, but usually you have to have somebody hook some diagnostic equipment up to it to pull that information to get the engine runtime. But my truck has very little engine runtime because I always run the APU when I'm parked. Almost always. And that really helps with the wear and tear on the truck. I hardly ever have any issues with the truck. Almost all my issues are with the APU because that's the engine that runs all the time. So, yeah. Anyway, I think I'll go ahead and end this video and look for a load. Um, See what I can find today. I've been looking at the load board and I haven't really seen anything that great. There are a couple of decent loads on the board, but they don't pick up for 2 days to a month or more. Like, there are some loads out of Fort Smith here that are going, they're multi-drop loads, a drop in Dallas and then another drop in Odessa. And they're paying like $4 a mile. And I know like what it is because I've hauled the load before. It's air conditioning units, like commercial air conditioning units, and you're dropping them off at air conditioner dealers. But the next one doesn't pick up for 2 days. It doesn't pick up until the 14th. So I'm trying to find something before then. If I'm still here on the 14th, though, maybe I'll take that load. I don't know. We'll see. But there are a few good loads like that. They're just nothing that picks up in the next day or two. So anyway, I need to look at the load board. So hope you're having a good one out there. Bye.